Dear chess friends, this is Jirka Dufek on our chess channel, and today we will continue our journey on Grünfeld Defence. And I will show you the game Lineage from Reykjavik 2015. Let's start. Knight f3, knight f6, c4, g6, knight c3, bishop g7, d4, d6, e4, short castle, bishop e2, e5. Probably for someone, this move order is not so good because there is exchange variation which started with DE, queen takes date, rook takes date, which is of course absolutely okay for black, but some Kings Indian players don't like to exchange queen so early. For these players, I offer move order which started with knight bd7, and after short castle e5 we are back in our game. I think that way to use this move knight bd7, something like e5, is not dangerous for black because after de, knight g4, e6, fe, with knight d5, very soon in this position, black is absolutely okay. That is why I think knight bd7 move order is fully playable. But e5 happens, short castle, knight bd7, which is for some players a very modern way how to play Kings Indian. Of course, knight c6 is another move which we saw in the previous video in game in RKF. But I think that knight c6 is so much forced and so dangerous for black that maybe it's time to change the main move to knight bd7. Bishop e3 is the main move, and now black played queen e7, which is very interesting move. But classical move on this in this position is c6, but black players stopped playing this move for years after a well-known game, Kramnik-Knack from Dortmund 1992. In this game, d5, c5 was played, now knight e1, and in this position Knack played knight e8, which was main move at the moment. But after g4, controlling f5 square, f5, exchanging everything on f5, knight b6, knight f3, bishop f5, knight g5, we see that white is simply better because in a black game there is so much weak squares. e6, e4, white can use for his pieces, bishop d3, and of course king h1 and rook g1 and using g file against the black king, and everything this was used by Kramnik in this game. And game continued, queen e7, king h1, knight f6, rook g1, king h8, queen d2, bishop g6, rook af1, knight h5, knight e6. And we see that knight on e6 now dominate black pieces, and white is simply much better, and in fact Kramnik won in another 12 moves. But after knight e1, black is not forced to move his knight to e8 and play f5, but much better is starting regrouping on kingside with king h8. And after knight d3, knight g8. And with this move, black prepare not only f5, but maybe even bishop h6 and exchange to black square bishop. And after that, black is absolutely safe. Queen d2 is classical move, and f5. And now the main idea is that after f4, which looks quite dangerous for black, because white has all pieces in a game, and rook a1 is just only one move, and if you look on black position, looks like these pieces are more or less undeveloped. And black center is under big pressure. Of course, we see everything now is attacked in a center. But in this position, there is very strong move, g5. And after this move, black's position is absolutely okay. This move was played in dozen times, and for example, correspondence player Grego never lost after this move. For example, fg, f4, the idea, bishop f2, a6, scoring d5 against knight b5, bishop h4, and now shocking move, bishop h6, attacking this pawn. g3, exchanging on g5, king h1, queen h6, gf, bf, knight d1 and b5, and now players agreed on a draw. I think now we see that everything's changed. Black position is very good. Not only attacking, of course, on kingside, but to opening 7th rank for transferring a rook on kingside. And I think that the whole idea we started with king h8 and mainly with after f4 with the g5 is very good way how to handle position after bishop e3, c6, bishop e3 and c6. But another way how to play with black, and I think this position which was played between Lenich and Berg is typical for this knight bd7 line. Queen e7, queen c2. Of course, after something like d5, black can play c5, and in fact he saved a tempo playing c5 in one move. Queen c2, c6, rook a d1, and a6. Which is very interesting, covering g5, and for some reason preparing knight h7 and probably even maybe knight g5 in the future, or with this knight, or even with this knight, because maybe this knight will find nice square on h5. White played d5, c5, and now quite surprising move for someone who doesn't know this pawn structure. And this is move just g3. This is very interesting move and a very strong one, because with this move, white covering these two squares, but preparing knight h4, which makes very problematic to f5 move, because as you see, g6 pawn will be under attack. Even for some reason, knight can be transferred to g2 to support white king. Knight h7, preparing maybe f5, and now h3, which is very logical move. But probably for someone who is looking for theoretical truth in the position, I will show you the probably best move, which is surprising queen c1. And we see now battery, queen c1, bishop e3, and attacking h6 pawn. And this is very annoying for black. And black is probably forced now to play h5. And after king g2, it's very hard for black to make some progress on king side, because with so weak g5 square and pawn on h5 is of course f5 very questionable move, because after f5, ef, gf, we see that probably h5 pawn will be hanging. But this is still quite playable for black, because there is no anything clear how white should continue. Probably he will return back with to queenside with a3 and b4. But of course b6 will cover everything, and game will develop very slowly. But Blenić played h3, knight df6, b4, b6. This is everything clear now. Even there's some kind of threat like bishop h3, knight g4, and then probably sometimes f5, bc, bc, knight h4. We see that this move is quite unpleasant because f5 is not possible to play, because after h5, f5, knight g6, of course, decide the game. Knight g5, f3, covering everything on fourth rank, and knight h5. Moving another knight to close to white king. Of course, something like bishop h3, rook f1, rook fb8 is close to equal, because white open b file, but probably as maximum there will be exchange all rooks, and black will cover every weak pawn on the queenside, and everything is okay for black. But if you play this line with black, you decided to play very slow chess, and you accept the risk that you can be outplayed somewhere, but you want to play until the end. In h1, cover against everything on h3, knight h3, knight g2, bishop d7. Now we see that after f5, which looks like logical move, that after e takes f5, g takes, classical move f4, and now we see that knight on h3 is terrible. Now knight on h5 is hanging, and center is under attack, and white is simply much better. Well, another way then bishop d7, of course, something like rook b8, after exchanging rook on b1, and king h7 with something like bishop f6 and bishop g5 or bishop d8. Position is close to equal. But bishop d7 was played, rook b1, rook a b8, exchanging on b8, bishop d3. And now black decided to play on, and he played slightly dubious rook f8, but I see a very strong fighting spirit on black side, because black wants to play a game. Because after something like queen d8, rook b1, exchanging rooks, bishop f6, bishop f1, bishop g5, taking on g5. Now there is of course perpetual knight f2, knight h3, and of course black can take a draw. But just if you want to win a game, you need to take some risk, and this is just black did. Rook f8, queen d2, attacking the pawn on h6 with this typical pattern. Of course, sensible move was rook b1, and threat rook b7 is maybe quite unpleasant for black. But white decided to play safer, and now very risky try f5. In fact, black is risking to lose a game, but he pushing a lot of energy on a white position because he thinks that probably white will make some error under pressure. Otherwise, rook b8 with sacrificing pawn and rook b3, we see that black is absolutely fine. But f5, he takes f5. Now, bishop h6 is error, because after f4, bishop takes g7, knight g3, check, hg, king g7. We see that just black idea. There is rook h8, fg, and finally white king is under strong attack. Just stop after bishop g7 because knight g3 move is very topical in this kind of position. ef5 was played, gf, bishop h6, which is probably another small mistake. After something like f4, with cutting this knight from black army, probably gave white advantage. But white decided to take a pawn, f4, bishop g7, queen takes g7, g4, which is very risky move. Probably safer was taking on f4, and after exchanging knights on f4, rook takes f4, knight e2, white is probably slightly better. But white played g4, cementing kingside, and black wrongly sacrificed piece with bishop takes g4. In fact, he could finish game in a draw with a shocking knight g3 move. fg, hg, fg3, knight e4, queen h8, knight takes g3, knight f2, king g1, knight h3, king h2. Everything now looks like black is in big trouble, but rook takes f3, knight h5, rook takes f1, bishop takes, bishop g4, and after queen a5, queen takes h5, queen d8. In fact, white is giving perpetual after king f7, queen c7, and so on. And this would be probably correct finish of this game, but Berg sacrifice a piece, and after fg, queen takes g4. It's not so simple to defend in time trouble. And in fact, white just now made two errors. Firstly, he played bishop e4. Probably after knight e4, with covering everything and mainly g3 square, probably white is close to winning. But he played bishop e4, knight g5, queen d3 is another mistake. Probably still after bishop g6, white can save a draw after something like knight g3, hg, king g7, of course, terrible threat, bishop h7, knight takes f4, e takes f, rook takes f, queen g3, exchanging rooks, and after exchanging queen, we just reach some totally drawish knight endgame. But playing something like bishop g6 is a very hard move, and white played queen d3, which is losing mistake. f3 comes, knight b3, still probably rook f2 was move which white had to try, but after king g7 there is no defense. after bishop f5, fg, rook takes g2, queen takes g2, king takes g2, knight f4. Black is absolutely winning because he's exchange up. Knight e3 was played, knight g3 with a mating attack. Just g3 square once more time. hg, of course, after king g1, very nice mate after knight h3, checkmate, very nice, with two knights. hg, check, king g1, check, 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 in time travel, everything is possible. King h1, queen h4, king g1, and knight h3 check. And white resign now because he will be mated in three moves. After king h1, check, queen g3, and queen takes g2 mate. And I think this is very typical game for online. Probably we can divide this game in some parts. Firstly, after these moves, probably white can claim some kind of theoretical advantage because he has more space. There is no easy way how to play f5 for black, and of course clear plan with a3 and b4. And this is just part one. There is another part when black was able to neutralize black advantage and probably now is close to equality, but he decided to take a risk and continue with some daring attack on a kingside. Even he took a risk to have a lost position after bishop takes g4. And so this is just last part when in time travel black respectively white played some mistakes, bishop e4 and queen d3, and he was killed with a mating attack. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.